This episode is brought to you by Accenture. When your advertising operations fall out of sync, everything else follows. Spotify and Accenture are working together to reinvent the rhythm of ad sales, using automation, analytics, and smarter workflows to simplify campaign delivery and access better data across the business. The result? Less time spent on operations, more time connecting brands with the moments and fandoms that matter most. Learn more at accenture.com/Spotify.
Here's your report.
Oh, thanks, Jane. I wish I could hire someone just like you.
Try LinkedIn Hiring Pro. It's more than a job board. It's like the recruiter you always wished you had. Hiring Pro uses real-time insights to match your role to LinkedIn's unique network of professionals and delivers a short list of best fit candidates. You'll spend less time sorting applicants and more time talking to the right people.
Let's do it. You're irreplaceable, Jane, but another you would be great.
Hire right the first time. Post your job for free on LinkedIn today at linkedin.com/quality.
Welcome to Holocron History, Star Wars Canon versus Legends, where we take a deep dive into the Star Wars universe, such as characters, creatures, stories, and so much more. Hosted by Ben of Temeria and Kodojo.
Welcome back, Acolytes, Adepts, to Holocron History, Star Wars Canon vs. Legends. I am one of your hosts, Brandon, or also known as Ben of Temeria, and always with me is my good friend, Kodojo.
Hello there.
And we are here again talking about Admiral Ackbar, and I misspoke last week's episode. It's a part 3 episode, not part 2. So just give a heads up. We do have one more part of Admiral Ackbar after this episode. But we are now getting into his history. So part 1 was all, his early life and everything he did in the Clone Wars, which he did quite a bit. Now we're actually getting into the Galactic Civil War, which is, the original trilogy era, which is pretty cool. So after the death of Admiral Raddus, who you might know from the Battle of Scarif, is where he died. Admiral Raddus is in Rogue One and also does appear in Andor Season 2.
Yeah. And for those, Raddus was born in one of the poles, which is colder, which is why he's blue.
Yeah.
That's the main reason they say the skin difference. If they're browner, they're born more towards the, I wouldn't say middle of the planet, but equator.
Like northern hemisphere-ish.
Well, I would say equator of the planet.
Equator, okay.
And the blue and white Mon Calas are born on the pole caps.
Oh, okay, got it. Cool. So Ackbar assumed command over the still-growing Alliance military, including command over the Alliance fleet under the title of Supreme Commander. After the destruction of Alderaan, a fleet under the command of Ackbar received a distress signal from Alderaanian refugees attempting to flee from the Empire. In response, Admiral Ackbar first sent Echo Squadron, but ended up sending 3 CR-90 corvettes, a Nubulon B frigate, and the MC-80 Liberty-type heavy star cruiser Aurora to help the refugees after he was convinced by Lyndon Javes that they needed more help.
Yes, and this is Star Wars Squadron, like the first level they do.
Yeah. This is the first Republic side mission that you do.
Yeah. Well, and Empire.
I forgot. It switches between the two in middle of the.
Yeah, first you're the Empire
mission.
hunting down the refugees, then you become the Rebel Alliance saving the refugees.
Right. Yep. So, following the Battle of Yavin, the Empire set out to attack the Rebel base. Ackbar was among the Rebel leaders in charge of getting the fleet together to help with the evacuation. Ackbar stayed with the fleet once the evacuation has been completed. Colonel Ainge Xavier made contact with Ackbar and what remained of the fleet after the Battle of Scarif, although Ackbar later said in 34 ABY that they were short-handed, behind schedule, under-equipped, and hardly in a position to supplant Raddus and bolster the Rebel fleet.
To be fair, when you commit most of your forces to one battle, granted, you win that battle, but then Vader shows up and blows up most of your ships with a single Star Destroyer.
Yeah. It's not good. So then he helped organize the troops and gather the supplies on the planet for evacuation. During the chaos, Akbar ran into Princess Leia. He gave his condolences regarding the destruction of Alderaan, while at the same time ordering troops to bring supplies. He informed her where General Jan Dordana was, whom she was looking for.
I wonder if this is comics.
This is definitely comics.
Okay.
So in 0 ABY, Akbar sent Lieutenant Luke Skywalker along with R2D2 on a mission to Rhodia. Along the objective of the mission was to open new supply lines for the rebellion. Akbar was uncomfortable with calling it smuggling. The mission had been the idea of Princess Leia, who suggested that the Chiku clan would be open to work with them. While Mon Mothma was the first unsure of the idea, when Akbar supported it, the decision was made. Skywalker noted while he was on his mission, there was no one seemed to want to challenge Akbar.
Brilliant. Yeah, I thought this might have been the same clan in Clone
Kiku
Wars.
clan is a Rhodian clan on Rhodia, because Rhodia is the home planet of the Rhodians. Shocker.
No. Really?
What? No way. So moving on, when Skywalker returned, Admiral Ackbar and Princess Leia took a shuttle to the command ship Redemption. He began to explain how the mission went, but Ackbar cut him off, uninterested. He was more curious about what happened to Skywalker in the Lanix system, where he was shot down to fight. He had to shoot down two TIE fighters. Organa revealed that Organa began to explain a new mission. That didn't make any sense. Which would be the goal of extracting the cryptologist Drussel Banform. I don't know. Bringing her to see a family on Omareth, where Ackbar explained out past Hutt space. So this is a whole new mission that they're doing. This is also comics for anybody who don't know.
No, I think this is Heir to the Jedi.
Is it?
Yeah, because the Lanix system is only mentioned apparently in Heir to the Jedi.
Okay, and it's the books. Because that was books, right?
Yeah. Okay. This is one of my favorite ones because the scariest thing in this book is a tiny little worm that has a tongue sharp enough to pierce through any armor that's available in the Star Wars galaxy. They live in trees and drop down in your head and cut a hole open in your head and start to eat your brain.
Ew. That's
That's
that's almost as bad as those worm parasite things that could like make you into zombies. From like the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah. All right. Anyway, moving on so I don't think of that. Ackbar commented that it was on the ocean planet which looked delightful to him, if not for the large and hungry native fish. When Skywalker inquired why he was one of being assigned to the mission, Organa explained that a talented pilot would be needed.
We got no one else, kid. You're it.
Yeah, and he's a Skywalker, so he can fly. So. The coupon he had saved that had been carrying valuable information that revealed the whereabouts of a given cryptologist named Drussel Banforn, who the rebellion wished to extract. Skywalker, who had began planning to use the Desert Jewel, asked for it to receive a weapons upgrade, but Ackbar told him that the Alliance was low on money and had to focus its resources on maintaining the fleet and not upgrading it. Skywalker suggested that he asked Nakari Kellen to help with his help, as her father was very rich, and it was told by Ackbar that she had returned from her training mission. Ackbar did not object to this plan. Now, first off, I need to know what the heck. Oh, Desert Jewel's a ship. Oh, it's a yacht.
Yeah, it's a yacht, some kind of pleasure yacht, I think. But funnily enough, when they go to get information from this person, they're told that the phrase is, "Can I have extra Rancor sauce?"
Really? Oh my god.
Yeah, apparently there is no
Rancor.
such thing. But...
Oh, okay. I was about to say, it's like, is there a thing called Rancor sauce? I was
I'm
about
sure
to.
Teacup would want to know, but
Oh,
no.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So once Catelyn had returned, she began to converse with Skywalker, with Admiral Ackbar standing nearby. She told him that her father's plan to investigate a new moon his scouts had discovered. Although Catelyn did not think of her father would give money for upgrades for nothing, she speculated that it might exchange her the funds for a scouting report on the moon, which Catelyn thought she and Skywalker could do. Which,
Yeah.
it's pretty
Hmm.
reasonable, I would say.
Yeah. Just for that.
Right. So Akbar then cut in, asking if the Empire knew about facts and the planet it orbited, Shah Korat, Korat, as well as if it was sentient species lived there. Catelyn was unaware about the former, but told Akbar there was no sentient species that she knew of. Akbar gave the permission to go, but also asked that they keep a lookout for see if the moon would make a good base for the Alliance. Skywalker then bade farewell to Akbar. Because, the Alliance needs a base.
Oh, yeah.
When Skywalker returned, the fleet was still hiding in the Orto Platuna system, where he and Catelyn met Akbar in the Promise. Akbar was disappointed to hear that Fex would never be able to use a House of Rebel base, but was encouraged to hear that the Desert Jewel had been upgraded. He had began to brief the pair on their new mission. He explained that their contact ran a noodle hut on the planet Dinion as a front for her spy work. They would go to his restaurant and order something strange to indicate that they were what they were looking for.
Rancor sauce.
This is where we're getting the Rancor sauce.
Yeah.
Upon Akbar's forgetting of the strange dish, the protocol droid C-3PO reminded him that it was the Corellian buckwheat noodles with Rancor sauce. Akbar and Catelyn both found the dish appalling. Organa assured them that they would not need to eat it, but order it. Saket, the shop owner, would have files ready for them when they arrived. Akbar told them that their target, Bethorin, wanted to be taken to Amareth, where their alliance was arranging for her family to be brought. Akbar warned that she would be heavily guarded and that the guards may need to be taken care of, in quote-unquote. The mission ended up being successful, but Catelyn, to the great regret of Skywalker, was killed.
I think he was, and I think in the book he was developing a bit of romantic feelings towards Kellen. A little bit.
Oh my
Skywalker.
god, no, Rancor sauce is a legit thing. I'm literally reading it right here. Rancor sauce was a sauce used for seasoning noodles. It's a legit thing. Oh my god, Skywalker's dreading the sauce after order, expecting the taste to be awful. Kellen was looking forward to seeing his reaction to it, but his belief Scott gave the pair orders of Nerf nuggets instead. Oh.
Yeah, see,
I'm pretty sure. I think it's a thing.
No, it was just something they came up with because no one else would order it.
Who knows? There might be something. You never know. It'd be funny though if there was. So shortly after the mission on Dinon, rebel forces managed to bomb an Imperial supply base on Endor and a shipyard on Kuwait. Ackbar informed Leia Organa of this sometime after the events occurred. Hooray, Kuwait, which we, see in the sequel trilogy.
Yeah.
Sometime later on the Alliance warship, what? Do
we see Kuwait in the sequel trilogy?
Isn't that the ice planet, salt planet?
No. That's a different planet altogether.
Is it?
Yeah, Kuwait is known as the shipyard of the
galaxy. Oh, I'm thinking.
This was just some
doesn't that start with the K?
I can't remember. It was in it was in that Star Wars game that came out recently. Outlaws, Star Wars Outlaws.
Oh, Kuwait's there in that. Okay, yeah.
No, that wasn't Kuwait. What? The planet you're thinking of.
It's not in Outlaws.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I finished it. Crate.
Yeah.
Crate's not.
No,
Kajimi.
Kajimi.
That's Kajimi. That's a snow planet.
Yeah, and that was in the sequel trilogy.
Kajimi?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, Kijimi was. Yeah, I was thinking Crate, though. That's the planet I was thinking of for some reason.
That was in
That's
the
in
second
Last
one.
Jedi, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, me just being forgetful. So sometime later, an Alliance warship, Rebel commanders received a distress signal from R2-D2. Ackbar, Mon Mothma, and General Dodonna learned that Skywalker had been captured by the Hutt crime lord. Ackbar inquired how they would rescue Skywalker, although Mon Mothma readily stated that she was unwilling to put her resources on a rescue mission. Mothma also began to say that she had no idea who would even volunteer for such a task, but was interrupted by a growl from Chewbacca, which was translated by C-3PO to mean that the pair would leave at once.
It's like, I volunteer.
Right. Was a message about the Final Fantasy set. Everybody's out of collectors currently in my area. Dang.
Ooh. Apparently,
Yeah.
apparently mine was delivered to my door and I haven't noticed. So during the mid-break, I might be skipping out real quick.
Oh, fair enough. So between 0 ABY and 1 ABY, the planet Turin 7 came under siege by the Empire for secretly providing aid to the Rebel Alliance. When Ackbar, Mothma, and Dodonna learned of these events, Ackbar suggested that the Alliance return the favor by providing help to their people who were starving. Which,
Yeah.
pretty common.
Mm-hmm.
When Princess Leia and Lieutenant Skywalker suggested taking such action, Mothma explained that 3 previous attempts had been unable to penetrate the planet's blockades or its swarms of TIE fighters. Skywalker suggested that they would need something big to barrel through, but it was shot down by Mothma, who explained that the Rebel fleet could not be spared.
This kind of reminds me of Rebels, where they were trying to break the blockade and they eventually finally got through because of the B-Wing.
Yes, yeah. Oh, I love that episode.
This reminds me of that episode right there.
Where's the B-Wings in this? They have
Not made yet. Not made yet.
Yeah, they were.
Oh no, yeah, they were. Actually,
Yeah, they would have been made.
They were.
Because Rebels is 5 years. Rebels is 5 years before New Hope.
Yeah, but it takes place over 5 years though. So about 3 years before the Battle of Yavin. Maybe.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
So Skywalker clarified, saying that he didn't need the fleet, but in fact a Star Destroyer. Organa thought he was crazy, and Ordana felt the plan was to be preposterous, but Ackbar thought it could work, suggesting that a crew as well as an admiral take command. Mothma gave them permission to proceed, and the mission would be carried out. The attempt was successful.
To be fair, when you're desperate, the craziest plans are the ones that usually work.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. So after the Battle of Jeddah, Leia, Luke, Han Solo, C-3PO, R2-D2, Chewbacca, and Ackbar met with Regent Doors Urtia to discuss the possibility of the Mon Cala mercantile fleet rebuilding a rebellion against the Empire and joining the Rebel Navy. Urtalia declined out of fear for the people of Mon Cala.
Yeah, and just to clarify, how many battle systems make for Jeddah now? 3, 4?
Too many.
Jeez, because you got one in the High Republic.
The planet's a wasteland at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, as we see in Star Wars Jedi Survivor. It's like a wasteland. Just empty ruins at this point.
Jeddah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, it was in there. Yeah,
That's
sorry, it took me a
wasteland.
second there. Yeah, but after the Death Star cracked it open, all that resources were there. So I'm guessing the Empire was planning on just strip mining it at that point. Because you remember, or not, sorry, Death Star. Because they used one reactor to blow up Jeddah City.
Oh,
that caused
Jeddah
a
City,
chain
yeah.
reaction that pretty much just cracked open the planet, exposing the core.
Oh, yeah. So Ackbar was present on the Mon Calamari Star Cruiser when he was he and the rest of the fleet received a message from the dying king at Lishar, asking for his people to join the Alliance before he was killed by stormtroopers. Ackbar led the fleet along with the Rebel Alliance support to mutiny against the Imperial forces sent to stop them. Ackbar contacted Captain Prisk Leela of the Aurora Flare to ask if she would volunteer to crash her cruiser full of coaxium into a Star Destroyer in order for the fleet to escape, knowing that she would lose her life in the process.
Okay. Now, hyperfuel. Okay. Coaxium is just purely used for hyperspace
Yes.
fuel. I'm trying to
Um,
remember what the other one is, but
I can't
I mean, a ship full of
remember.
that.
Coaxium, though, is very highly volatile.
Yeah.
So if you go to Galaxy's Edge and you do the smuggler's run, that's what you're smuggling. Hondo sent you on a smuggling run to get coaxium, which is very, very volatile.
Yeah.
It can explode big time. Oh, my niece is not happy going to bed.
Again.
Oh, she never likes going to bed. But then she lays down for a few minutes and then is quiet. So, Leela agreed to the tactic, and Ackbar told her that she wished she could have gotten to know her more. The Aurora Flare crashed in the Star Destroyer, causing a hole to form in the Imperial blockade, and for the Mon Calamari cruisers to escape. Ackbar and the rest of the Murasanatil fleet fled to Makotao space docks, and where they were outfitted into warships for the Rebel Navy.
Yeah, the mercantile fleet was originally just for shipping, like we use cargo transports for here on Earth. And then they get to this massive space dock. I mean, these things are huge.
Yeah.
These space docks. And they managed to outfit the entire fleet.
Mm-hmm.
That's how massive it is.
So, Ackbar was present at Makata space docks, and when the Rebel Alliance tried to start a party to celebrate their new fleet, but their party was cut short by the arrival of Darth Vader's Death Squadron, who were secretly contacted by Queen Trios. Because the cruisers had been sabotaged by Trios, Death Squadron started to pick off each cruiser one by one. Luke Skywalker did manage to get past the Shu-Torun codes used to shut down the cruisers and launch the Rebel starfighters.
Yeah, and Queen Trios becomes a bit of a rival with Princess Leia for like the next few issues in the comics. And this attack is a massive blow to the Rebel Alliance because they were pretty much hedging their bets on this fleet, essentially.
Oh yeah, because they didn't really have anything else. So Luke uses the light trails from his ship to signal Ackbar that the bay doors are open. Ackbar orders all the fighters to launch and spread the word. After getting the codes needed to bring all the ships online, Ackbar ordered Home 1 to launch into hyperspace, which is his command cruiser.
Yeah.
Starship. So.
His flagship.
Flagship, yeah, thank you. So shortly after Ackbar was present when Valence, after a data card, held the plans to a shield generator. And then after an attack on an Imperial impound yard, Skywalker offered Tula Marcona and her clan that they want to go up to Home 1 and meet Admiral Ackbar. But Tula refused because she was still upset that Skywalker and his team indirectly caused the death of her parents.
Okay. Now, who is this and why is she claiming that?
Well, she's human. And she's from Hubin. That's funny. Star Wars 2015 series.
Yeah.
So, in the 2018 canon comic Star Wars 2015. Yeah, because their comic lines love to run years and years. So, the team traveled to Kalada Nebula in the Volt Cobra that were initially worried that they were in a trap when Ackbar and Home 1 did not come by to pick them up. Home 1 eventually arrived to pick them up when Ackbar's voice was heard over the comlink. Relieved to know they had survived the assault on Makata's space docks, Princess Leia went up to the bridge and talked to the Admiral, who was very delighted to see her.
Yeah, the Makato space dock battle was the real first big defeat for the Rebel Alliance. I think it's what caused them to scatter in the first place and then regroup on Hoth.
So after greeting her, the princess told Ackbar that she had several documents that would allow her to destroy Shuturin, the homeworld of Queen Trios. Ackbar was very reluctant and skeptical to use large rebel forces to allow Leia to pursue her personal vendetta against the Queen of Shutorlin. The Mon Calamari Admiral asked how she would plan to do this, in which Leia told her that she had a plan that would never expect.
Now, for those wondering, the Queen of Shuturin was also in the 2015 Darth Vader comic, and she was essentially under his thumb at this point.
That's funny. So after the attack in the Selpar system, amphibious rebel pilot E.T. Myrak was placed on comms duty by Skywalker for her actions during the attack, while Rogue Squadron went to aid in an ambush in the Valos system. Myrak stayed back with Ackbar to work on the comms, but she realized that something was not right. She sprinted off as Ackbar called to figure out where she was going. But Ackbar caught up to Myrak in the hangar bay and called her out for attempting to leave and thus debating Commander Skywalker's orders. Myrak tried to plead with her case, but was annoyed Admiral was not having it and ordered her to report back to the flight deck, where the reckless pilot insulted the Admiral and shoved the chief technician Garn Stewart into Ackbar, knocking him down. Myrak apologized, but jumped into X-Wing and took off anyway.
That's the problem with the rebellions. They really don't have any military discipline.
No, not at all. So then C-3PO then attempted to alert Ackbar, but was ignored the droid and asked for a report from Stewart. Stewart reported that they could not track Myrak because she was in hyperspace, but Ackbar ordered him to get the Admiral in contact with Skywalker, but Stewart was unable to because Rogue Squadron because of the ongoing battle in the Valos system. As the battle raged on, R2 tried to reach contact with Ackbar's fleet, but no avail. But when Myrak rescued Skywalker, the battle turned in the rebels' favor. When the rebel fleet arrived, causing the Empire to retreat, Skywalker thanked Ackbar for arriving to save them, but Ackbar believed that Skywalker should thank Myrak for discovering the encoded messages a spy had been sending to the Empire for months.
You can't just say, hey, there was a spy leaking information and gotta go warn Rogue Squadron.
Yeah, probably. You probably could, but I guess they didn't want to maybe alert the spy?
No, maybe.
So that's a thing. So now...
By the way...
What, go on.
Sorry, by the way, Valos system, same one from the High Republic.
Yes. Yeah.
I was like, oh, what's the odds? Pretty good, apparently.
And now we're getting to the road to Endor. So obviously we have Hoth. So although Admiral Ackbar was not present at the Battle of Hoth, he did receive a call to come and assist with the evacuation. However, there was not enough time to scramble the rebel fleet. The evacuation was completed in a matter of hours, but the Alliance suffered major losses, which is obviously in Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah. And that base was meant to be abandoned.
Yeah. It was never as a permanent thing.
Yeah, and those troopers pretty much knew if there was going to be battle, they probably wouldn't make it.
Mm-hmm. So after the battle, Ackbar implemented a new hyperspace jump schedule for the fleet. Jump coordinates would be transmitted from Home 1 to all nearby ships in the fleet, with the coordinates being given to other outposts and vessels. As a safeguard, Ackbar had every gunner in the fleet fire at any craft that came in out of hyperspace on an incorrect reversion vector. When X-Wing pilots Wedge Antilles and Wes Jansen rendezvoused with Home 1, Antilles speculated the reason for the lateness of Luke Skywalker could be because of Ackbar having high security rebels take extra hyperspace jumps.
Nothing wrong with extra security there.
Oh god, no. So then, after the Rebel Alliance managed to escape the Battle of Dallas, Ackbar, Mothma, and the rest of the 11th Division grouped up with the 4th and 7th Divisions, where they're rescued by the 4th Division Starlight Squadron and Commander Skywalker, and was given a new security transmission code based on the lost language of Trawak.
Yeah, even in our world, they use, I wouldn't say lost languages, but very unknown languages in military to do it. such
Yeah.
as the Windtalkers in World War II, which
Hmm.
use some Native American language I can't remember, unfortunately, right now.
Hmm. Yep. And then sometime later, Akbar and Mothma briefed on various updates since Hoth. Akbar stated that while the fleet had been diminished, there was now time to address secondary goals. The first goal was to reestablish the supply chain, and the Captain Armelin Holdo negotiated a deal with the crime families until the Syndicate War broke out.
Okay, now we can relax, work on the minor stuff, and what the hell is going on with the criminal underworld?
Yeah, which, by the way, was essentially roughly around the same time as Star Wars Outlaws.
More or less,
Actually,
yeah.
it is. Yeah, it is actually during Star Wars Outlaws. Its literally
Yeah.
appearances is in Star Wars Outlaws. So, which you see the war because you're trying to deal with all the 4 different syndicates in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So you see the war. It's just you're kind of like just out for yourself trying to survive.
Yeah.
So. After the Alliance's successful attack on during Empire Day on Barleth, Admiral Ackbar congratulated Organa on the mission during a meeting. Organa appreciated Akbar's willingness to arrest rebel people and ships on missions that took place deep in the Empire's territory. During the meeting, Ackbar agreed with General Hera Syndulla's point that the rebel fleet lost many of its own connections while trying to reform after Hoth. Which, more comics. He once again stated the Rebel Alliance needed to reestablish contacts with its intelligence assets in order to rebuild their supply lines. Ackbar recommended establishing a base that could, so that the Rebel ships could go through repairs. He then recommended the Rebel continue their strategic attacks, making the public, in order to show the galaxy that the Empire was vulnerable.
Yeah, so the ships can only go for so long without needing deep repairs. I mean, you can only make so many small repairs before something big breaks. You need to stop and fix it.
Hyperdrives. Hyperdrives are a really good example.
Yeah.
So sometime after, Ackbar took in a briefing led by Captain Syndulla addressing recent potential intelligence and the rebellion has gathered. Or Captain Syndulla, but she was General.
No, General.
Syndulla. Yeah,
No,
I don't know why
she was General.
Yeah, I don't know why it's called a captain here. Whatever.
Typo.
Probably. Skywalker undertook a mission to Coruscant to rescue Crimson Dawn spies who defected from the Empire. Upon his return, he had a briefing with Rebel Command on a highly important intel, where he asked where Organa was. Ackbar told him that she was in another sector due to recent Rebel efforts to not gather too much of the fleet at once. Skywalker's revelation that the spies were from Crimson Dawn worried Ackbar, who believed that the Dawn also has spies in the Rebel Alliance. Skywalker continued to reveal the Empire was constructing a second Death Star, shocking Rebel Command.
Yeah, Crimson Dawn had spies everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
They were mostly targeting the Empire, but were willing to take others out if opportunity presented itself.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, why wouldn't you? So, later on, Ackbar briefed Alliance members on the aerial assault on the Imperial capital of Coruscant.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
No. So, the Scourge, a malevolent droid, possessed Pieter, a cruiser of the second Revelation droid Freedom Group. Pieter then secretly ordered the Home One and possessed C-3PO, while Ackbar and the other Rebel leaders discussed how to take down a second Death Star. So the Scourge is I think it's a small little droid, isn't it?
No, look at the picture, dude.
Oh, God, what the living hell is this?
Yeah, it's some kind of actual malevolent AI.
Oh. What comics?
Once locked away by the Sith. Why is the Sith always locking away? It's a dark droid.
The Dark Droid comics. Interesting.
Yeah.
God Jeez, oh my god, those are terrifying. That's terrifying. So all of a sudden, the cybernetic implants in the cyborg Lobot malfunctioned, causing the Home One to go into battle alert. The shield batteries were activated, confusing Ackbar as he gave no such order. Ackbar ordered all Rebel personnel that the cruiser had gone into red alert status and to report to their battle stations immediately. As chaos ensued the Home One, a Rebel commander reported to Admiral Ackbar that the ship was acting like it was in battle, but there was no enemy detected. Ackbar ordered the commander to run diagnostics and break into the system in order to get the Home One under control.
Why is my ship sentient?
Right. And then Rebel personnel then reported the main turbolator's batteries were warming up with no activation codes. Ackbar ordered the Rebel fleet to take evasive maneuvers as the Home One began to open fire. At the same time, Rebel member Lando Calrissian discovered that Lobot was at the fault for the chaos and was forced to destroy his implants in the process. Ackbar then ordered a full investigation into who could have been responsible.
To be fair, it wasn't Lobot's fault.
Yeah.
He was just a tool for it.
Mm-hmm. And Lobot is the guy with the headband tech band thing from Empire Strikes Back with Lando on Cloud City. That's Lobot.
Yeah.
So he's a pretty cool dude. But at that point, we are going to take a quick mid break. Thank our patrons, and we'll be right back.
Get business done with the new American Express Graphite Business Cash Unlimited card. With unlimited 2% cash back on all eligible purchases, unlimited 5% cash back on flights and prepaid hotels booked through American Express Travel Online, and a flexible spending capacity that can grow with your business, you'll have the confidence to keep building. Apply today and earn a welcome offer of $1,500 cash back after you spend $50,000 in qualifying purchases on your new card within the first 6 months of card membership. Terms apply. Learn more at go.amex/graphite.
Determined to make the rest of summer the best of summer? LL Bean has clothing and gear designed to do it all. Like sun-washed apparel that feels broken in from the start, rainwear for every surprise rainstorm, hand-sewn boat shoes, and of course, the iconic Boat and Tote, made right here in Maine to carry all your summer essentials since 1944. LL Bean. Be an outsider. Visit llbean.com to learn more.
All right, welcome to the Middle Show. We're talking about everything in the podcast. This has nothing to do with the lore of Star Wars. Here, we want to thank all of our amazing patrons. Thank you all so much for supporting the show. And if you too want to support the show, you can go to patreon.com/holocronhistories, where you can get ad-free episodes or even join us once a month on the show itself. You can also leave us ratings and reviews on Apple and Spotify. If you leave a 5-star review on Apple with some words or a nice Spotify comment, we'll read it out loud the next time on the show, which we do have one from our part 1 of Admiral Ackbar from Tom saying, "Hey guys, just want to say I love the podcast and keep up the good work. I've been really getting into the Old Republic era recently, so I've been wondering which of the Old Republic era books are the best / should I read first?" Ooh.
All of them.
Well, there you go, all of them.
Unfortunately, there's not that many Old Republic books.
There's there's a lot of comics. There's Old Republic comics that they do have in volumes. They have a library volume 1, which is 50 some comics, and then volume 2 comes out sometime later this year, which is around 30 to 40 comics. Which is mainly SWTOR related, where the volume 1 is mainly Knights of Old Republic. But definitely need to read the Old Republic novels like Revan and Deceived.
Here it is.
Sure.
Fatal Alliance, Deceived, Revan, and Annihilation.
That's chronological order, yes. Because they all came out, I think Revan was the first one when it came out.
I think so.
But that takes place, which we've talked on the podcast before. It takes the first half of the book is post KOTOR 1, and then second half of the book is post KOTOR 2.
Yeah.
Deceived is right before the events of SWTOR, where it's the sacking of Coruscant, which is one of the trailers for SWTOR.
Well, it picks up from that trailer.
Oh, that's what I meant. Yeah, that's what I meant. And then Fatal Alliance specifically deals with Theron Shan.
Does it?
Pretty sure. Is it that one or is it the other one? I can't remember.
I think it was the other one.
What was the other one? Fatal Alliance, Revan, Deceived, and what was the other one?
Annihilation.
Annihilation's Theron Shan. Yes.
Yeah.
Annihilation. I can't remember who was Fatal Alliance.
Fatal Alliance was a mad scientist who found some kind of weird tech with spider droids and whatnot, which forced the Sith and the Republic to join together to fight against, because it was that threatening.
Oh, yeah, I haven't read that one. But yeah, thank you for that. And there you go for the book recommendations. And then you can also find us on a few different Discord servers, the Robots Radio Discord at robotsradio.net, as well as my own Discord server, the Ben and Friends Podcasting Discord, where you can find this show and all the other shows that I host, which are the Final Fantasy Lorecast, the Gundam Lorecast, the Wizarding World Lorecast, and the Witcher Lorecast. So go check those out. All great stuff. All great fun. And I do have some news. If anybody reads the comics, Marvel released the Rise of Skywalker adaptation for the film, and they did change some key points from the film. So the major changes, and issue number 5 alone has several. So we see Lando transmits to the galaxy. He rallies the Armada to fight the Sith Eternal fleet. So we see his transmission and how he got everybody together.
See, I don't think that's a change so much as finally showing what happened with Lando.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
We see also Rey and Ben Solo psychically talk to each other through the Force as their Force dyad bond strengthens, which is
to be fair,
more.
They talk to each other without being psychic talking anyway.
So the other main change is, where Rey is trying to come back to fight Palpatine, and she's hearing all the voices within the Force.
Yes.
In the comic, they physically show the Force ghosts. Which
they should have done that in this movie.
Exactly. But the thing is, it would be really hard to get a lot of the actors back, because some of them, either passed away or...
well, to be fair, they could have just CGI'd most of that. They could have just CGI'd most of that.
Yeah, but the thing is, they try not to do that a lot, specifically with living actors. They don't, you can get in trouble with that. So... yeah, so that was the main thing, was they actually showed the Force ghosts. And then when they were all having the party at the end of the film, there was a Force ghost of Leia and Luke in the background talking to each other and having some banter.
Yeah, well, hang on. They could have used the Clone War era people, Jedi, as well. They could have used that, and they wouldn't have had to pay anyone.
What do you mean? Oh, you mean their actors.
Well, the characters, because there were a lot of Clone War, the cartoon. There were a lot of Clone War cartoons.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but to do that in live action would have been interesting. It would have been weird. Plus, there was a whole budget thing, and they were trying. It was weird about the film. So, but yeah, they did some key changes. So, or additions, I would say. Mainly additions. The only key change was mainly with we actually see in the comic of the Force ghosts themselves, which was pretty cool. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. But I don't have anything else for the mid break. Do you have anything?
Yes, the final book of the High Republic era.
Oh yeah, Trials of the Jedi.
At least the audiobook has been dropped today, June 17th. Yeah. I'm only about 3.5 hours into it, unfortunately.
Only 3.5.
Out of 18.
Yeah, that's fair. Out of 18. So, yeah, that's cool. That's fun. So, end of an era. Now, Star Wars, go further back in the Old Republic.
Please.
Canonize that stuff. That'd been great.
Funny enough, every timeline Disney has been showing of the Star Wars timeline has the Old Republic in there with the SWTOR logo on there. Come on, Star Wars.
It might be a thing where they might just be canonizing the SWTOR stuff. You never know. That's where my hope. That's my... Dude, I want that so bad. Just canonize SWTOR. It won't affect anything
It's
at
4,000
all.
years in the past. It can't affect it, and it's such a rich area to explore.
And so much good storytelling. So, just in the MMO alone. But with that being said, let's get back into more of Admiral Ackbar.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. Listening to this podcast instead of doom scrolling? Smart move. Another smart move? Getting help from one of State Farm's 19,000 local agents when you choose to bundle home and auto. Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
I wrote a little song to remind you, Choice Hotels get you more of the experiences you value. The Cambria Hotel's got it all. A rooftop bar, have a ball. Cocktails up here feel just right. Is Cambria amazing? All right. Bring a date, your team, or even your mom. Book direct at choicehotels.com. See you on the roof.
Alright, so now in 3 ABY, Alliance Intelligence introduced Operation Rainbreaker, a series of coordinated assaults which had the goal of shutting down the naval shipyards at the Kuwait Drive yards. Once its defenses were stretched to the tipping point, naval and infantry forces would attack. General Medine sent the Phase 1 overview to of the Rainbreaker, which detailed how the 61st Mobile Infantry would secure multiple targets.
AKA Twilight Company.
Yeah.
61st, and they have a book, so read that. It's good.
There you go. The operation was planned to accumulate with the sabotage of the Kuwait Drive yards. However, the operation came to a halt at the siege of Insuyu Tor, where the Imperial resistance was more than the rebel forces could handle. Ackbar said in 34 ABY that Operation Rainbreaker was brilliantly planned, was brought low by undetectable circumstances. Commander Mothma said that another attempt would take Kuwait would be not be attempted.
Yeah, that's the thing. Kuwait is such an important shipyard for the Empire.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's the only planet more closely guarded and protected is Coruscant.
Yeah, I would also say Corellia as well, I'd imagine.
Yeah, a little bit.
There's the
but
shipyards
Kuwait,
on Corellia as well.
yeah.
So, But, now between 3 ABY and 4 ABY, Lando Calrissian stood on trial in accordance with the Corellian Code of Military Justice for treason against the rebellion. Ackbar, along with Mothma and General Medine, served as magistrates for the trial. Admiral Ackbar and Medine argued pre-trial that Calrissian should be executed for his crimes, but Mothma and Organa advised that it would be harming the rebel morale. However, during the trial, Mothma, who was participating via hologram, was kidnapped by Scarbarbi mercenaries, shocking Ackbar.
Okay, what did Lando pull this time to be tried for treason? I mean, it can't be the Bespin thing. Because he was kind of strong-armed into that.
It was during the comics. Corellian during the trial in accordance was charged with treason. I can't remember why he was charged with treason. Let me go to his page. I can probably find it. Oh god, he has so much stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my god, they have done so much.
After Ackbar, guess who's getting another one?
Oh god, I don't know if I want to dive into him. Holy crap. Trying to find it. That's not really on there. We'll get to it later at some point.
Yeah,
anyway, so Admiral Ackbar then activated Tactical Plan 18, which ordered the Alliance fleet to disperse to random locations in the event their location had been compromised. Calrissian's lawyer, Sali Gorgio argued the case must be dismissed due to Mothma being incapacitated, but Ackbar and the other magistrates disagree, allowing the trial to continue. Shortly after, he was present with the rest of the rebel high command to receive a ransom from the Skabari for 200 million credits, due within a day before the mercenaries could consider third parties. Ackbar then proclaimed that the alliance would be bankrupt if they paid.
I was going to say, who has 200 million credits just lying around?
Not me. I only have 54.
That that can get it together within a day.
Oh yeah, no, God no. Unless you're like a banking clan or something like that, or the Empire themselves, that's about it.
Yeah.
So later on, Ackbar and the rebel commanders analyzed potential Skabari safe houses brought forward by Chewbacca in order to rescue Mothma. Unfortunately for Ackbar, he was having difficulty understanding the Wookiee's native language, Shiwuk. Dispatching the Pathfinders, the rebels were able to rescue Mothma, and Calrissian's trial continued. Boom, boom.
God, talk about an interesting trial there.
No kidding.
Oh, you're on for treason. Oh no, one of the magistrates has been kidnapped.
So Lobot testified in Calrissian's defense, describing him as a loyal, but Ackbar argued that the trial would be taking place for the opposite reason. Lobot responded to him by providing evidence of how Calrissian had been loyal to him. After more testimonies had been closing statements, the magistrates discussed the 5 minutes before delivering a guilty verdict. Ackbar ordered Calrissian to pay the Rebel Alliance 250 million credits in compensation for treason, but the debt was suspended pending the end of the war and could be decreased based on his contributions to the rebellion.
Considering the alternatives for being found guilty for treason, that's not too bad.
No, and I mean, honestly, like, it's like essentially the Rebel Alliance strong-armed Calrissian Orlando to join them.
Yeah, he was kind of forced to.
He was literally forced to join the rebellion. But hey, he did good with the rebellion anyway, so kudos. So around 4 ABY, many rebel leaders rendezvoused on the planet of, Zaskia. During a top clearance meeting, a hologram was shown of an incomplete Death Star. Many present, including Princess Leia, were confused, assuming that it had been a Death Star from the Battle of Yavin. Ackbar then revealed that the Empire had begun construction on a second Death Star with a larger diameter and many advanced specifications, such as an advanced super laser. Because why not increase the power?
Apparently, the treason had something to do with the Scourge.
Oh. For the comics?
Yeah. Tucker agreed to help only if Calrissian revealed his treachery of handing it over to Jabba, which Lobot finally killed him. Not sure.
Oh, is it because Lobot was infected by it?
Probably. Scourge trying.
Anyway, as you find out more about that, I'm going to continue reading. So the other leaders of the meeting began to discuss the alliance's next move would be and how they would go about destroying it. General Erin Kraken and Ackbar explained that the flaw had been allowed the first Death Star to be destroyed if the Hand of Skywalker would have been removed. He and Mon Mothma agreed that the rebellion would have to make their attack before the battle station's completion. Which, no duh. The next day, the leaders returned to the briefing room, many of whom were exhausted. When Mothma mentioned for him to begin, Ackbar once again brought up the holo for the second Death Star. He explained that the Death Star would be vulnerable as long as its main reactors were exposed. Which they were.
Yeah, because you're trying to draw them in. And granted, you do have a shield that's on a planet that's, in my opinion, poorly protected.
It's on a moon.
I mean... moon, sorry. That's poorly protected. It looks like they got the bare minimum of protection down there.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it was an ambush.
So when Admiral Massa dejectedly said that the entire rebel fleet would not be enough to defeat the Imperial fleet, Ackbar followed back, explaining that they would not be able to win a battle ship to ship, but rather by creating time for their starfighters. Ackbar also revealed that they had been learned that the station was protected by an energy field generated from the surface of a nearby moon. Madine's commandos would steal an Imperial shuttle, get to the moon, and knock out the generator.
Yeah.
Which they do.
This This is all just Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, this is getting into Return of the Jedi, exactly.
Yeah.
So, one admiral pointed out that it would be difficult for the fleet to assemble without the Empire noticing. Ackbar explained, as he had previously told Mon Mothma, that Solus had been only a realistic fleet staging area if the Alliance would take advantage of the Sanctuary Pipeline, which was closely guarded Imperial secret until the rebel agents were able to discover it. The fleet would gather there, the commando team would go and bring down the shield, and the fleet would follow traveling down the Sanctuary Pipeline.
Yeah.
Which
apparently,
is... Yeah, the Sanctuary Pipeline, by the way, is a hyperspace
route from
for
Solus straight to Endor.
Yeah. So, Princess Leia then offered a strategy to distract the Empire from discovering what they were up to. Leia would lead a fake recruiting run with his supposed rendezvous point, while the Royal fleet gathered at Solus. Leia's suggestion of Nien Nunb to be her pilot on the mission was supported by Ackbar. Organa assumed that since Ackbar did not eject her plan, he approved it, although the plan was not immediately voted, as it did not take some more consideration from Mothma. Because Mothma's wishy-washy.
Yeah, she's definitely more of a pacifist than a fighter.
I'm sorry, you're in a state of war. You better make some decisions. So when Madain volunteered himself for the mission, Ackbar shot his down, saying that Madain was required to stay to help with the plan for Endor. Ackbar also mentioned that since the rebellion had already struck Solus during Operation Ringbreaker, it was believed that they would go so again. He promised Mothma that after the Battle of Endor, the fleet would return to liberate Solus. In 34 ABY, Ackbar said this was accomplished by months after Endor was opposed to the planned days.
Yeah. So Solus was originally shortly liberated by the Twilight Company. They were doing a series of attacks against the Empire and then just finally crash landed on Solus and just decided to dig their heels in there. It was make or break. They broke the Empire there and managed to get off-world eventually in a new ship.
Yep. So, during Commander Iden Versio's escape from the Invincible Faith, she snuck past the room where Ackbar was debriefing Rebel personnel to join the rest of the Rebel fleet, who were to join together at Solus to launch a surprise attack on the second Death Star. Which, obviously, this is one of the first missions This is the first mission you do on Star Wars Battlefront 2's campaign.
Yeah. And funnily enough, she was there to destroy intelligence that showed that this was a trap.
Yep. Absolutely. So when Mothma asked who Ackbar had chosen to lead the starfighter attack on the second Death Star, she just suggested Luke Skywalker. Ackbar, on the recommendations of the Solistan Nien Nunb and Ensign Del Tura, suggested Lando Calrissian. In order to convince Calrissian, Ackbar first tried appealing to his honor, but after a failure through that approach, went straight to money. Ackbar later stated, because
he still have that $250 million credit debt.
Ackbar later stated in 34 ABY that he was disappointed that Calrissian did not remain in service, because he was that good.
Yeah, and I think he quit after the Empire was no, not Battle of Endor.
No, it was after
Battle of Jakku. Battle of Jakku.
Yeah. This is when after he quit. Yeah, because it was after the formation of the New Republic is when he quit. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, well, New Republic was formed after the Battle of Endor, essentially, but they really didn't take power until after Jakku.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay. So, 6 days before the Battle of Endor, Admiral Ackbar received a transmission from Bucel Trin, who learned of a plot to assassinate Mon Mothma. Skeptical at first, Ackbar questioned Thrun on the legitimacy of the intelligence, but Thrun assured him that the threat was very serious, which obviously we went over this in the Mon Mothma's episodes.
Mm-hmm.
So afterwards, Ackbar met with Mothma, who was unconcerned with the plot. She believed the Rebel Alliance had to press forward the planned attack on the second Death Star and was not wasting any resources on uncovering a potential false plot. But the Admiral argued the rebellion could protect her and push forward at the same time. He believed the safety of all Rebel leaders was top priority if the rebellion was to become a republic.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if even if you win, if you got no one to lead it, it just becomes chaos.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So while Mothma noted his opinion, she still believed that the plot was to be false, with little reliable evidence to back up the intel. Ackbar believed the intel was similar to a double-edged sword, and that while the finer details were scant, the broad details remained true. Even though he continued to plead his case, Mothma refused to relocate any resources to her protection, and didn't want any to hear any protests from the admiral.
You can't tell me what to do.
Right. Shortly afterwards, Admiral Ackbar went behind Mothma's back and secretly met with Cass Dameron via hologram to discuss protecting the rebel leader. Dameron understood Mothma's point and questioned why Ackbar called him in the first place. Ackbar stressed that the recent news explained that Dameron that the Rebel Alliance was the cusp of something big, and they would need everything in order to go right in order to achieve success. He believed the assassination plot happened in the worst possible time for the galaxy. Admiral Ackbar then ordered Dameron alongside his wife, Shara Bey, to locate and prevent the assassination. And then Ackbar's suspicions and intelligence would be proven true, and the Empire did attempt to assassinate Mothma, but the Rebel Alliance Pathfinders were able to foil the plan.
Well, I'm going to protect you no matter what.
Mm-hmm. And now to the big battle. So Ackbar was one of the commanders of the Battle of Endor. At the pre-mission briefing, Gale told the plan to how the rebels would attack this Death Star. He explained that the Grand Team, led the General Han Solo, would go to the surface of the force of Endor and take out the shield generator, and the fighter squadron led by General Lando Calrissian would enter the battle station's superstructure and take it out on the inside.
Yep.
Which is obviously, this is Return of the Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
After the briefing, Ackbar pulled aside engineer Evans Bosch to apologize for being unable to find the refugee Toby. He then told Bosch that he had given the Alliance hope and that he must seize it. He commanded the fleet from the bridge of his ship, Home 1, once the battle commenced. However, between the fleet's sensors being jammed and the Imperial fleet cutting off their escape, Ackbar realized that they had been led into a trap. The Empire was leading them from their demise. Ackbar was reluctant to continue the battle after the rebels saw the Death Star super laser was operational.
I don't care how reluctant you are. You are, as he said, trapped. You got a fleet of Star Destroyers blocking you from running, and you got a Super Star Destroyer on your back. You ain't going nowhere.
Nope, might as well continue. So, however, Calrissian convinced him otherwise. Once Han Solo's squad took out the shield generator, Ackbar's fleet head off to the rest of the Imperial forces, while Calrissian and the fighters, alongside with Reg and Tilly's, flew inside the Death Star to take it out. Ackbar especially told his forces to concentrate their firepower on the Executor, which is Vader's flagship, which was ultimately destroying A-Wing. Ackbar was devastated by the loss of life that took place at the battle.
Okay, it wasn't ultimately destroyed by A-Wing. It was the final nail in the coffin, in my opinion.
Yeah, no.
Because in the book, it describes the Executor as having multiple engines fail, systems had been hit, and everything was being run at the bridge because so many systems were failing.
Mm-hmm.
It was the final thread to be pulled.
Yep. So, in the aftermath of the battle, Ackbar addressed the Alliance, informing that the time to celebrate had come, and Skywalker had reported the deaths of Palpatine and Vader. However, he warned that the time of rest had not yet arrived, saying the Empire's weapons may have been destroyed, but the Empire itself lived on, and stated the oppressive hands of the Empire closed around the throats of good, free-thinking people across the galaxy. He ended by saying that their fight would continue because while the rebellion was over, the war was just beginning.
Yeah, because essentially people who are in charge are now gone. This is going to cause panic in the rank and file. And this is essentially where
specifically
Imperial warlords start to take effect.
Which a very good, like if you go and play Star Wars Battlefront 2, the campaign, you see the aftermath of said, death of the Emperor, and oh boy. Yeah, they have contingency plans.
Yeah, but all the Imperial high command's out for themselves essentially, despite having the Crimson Messengers. I can't remember what they're really
Something
called.
stupid, yeah.
Yeah, but I like to call them Crimson Messengers because they wore red robes. Essentially, put into Operation Cinder, which even caused further problems.
Yeah. Yeah, they did. But yeah, that's all I got. You have any other final thoughts on Ackbar for this week's episode?
No, he did pretty good considering how limited his resources were.
Right.
Because the Rebel Alliance was not as well funded or as disciplined as the Empire.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yep. So anyway, we will finish him up next week on next week's episode for part 3. So stay tuned for that. But everybody, thank you again for listening to Holocron Histories, and may the Force be with you.
Thank you for listening to Holocron Histories, Star Wars Canon vs. Legends. You can find us on the Robots Radio Discord at robotsradio.net, the Ben and Friends podcasting Discord, where you can share your thoughts, experiences, and love for the Star Wars lore. And don't forget, for the Republic.
Hi, Ryan Reynolds here for Mint Mobile. Are you looking for a beach read this summer? May I suggest your big wireless bill? It's got suspense, mystery, a slightly flat, emotional arc, and a shocking twist where you realize you've been overpaying the entire time. Fortunately, though, Mint's story is better. Every plan, $15 a month, even unlimited. That's it. Happy ending, 0 tears.
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan required. $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 50 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. See terms.